You've been good, so you get an extra show, but you might say, no, 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 we didn't get one yesterday, so this is a makeup. And to you, I say, shut the fuck up. Here's the show.
Ba-da-ba-bow.
I find your contribution to have been the best part of that song. Hey,
Thank
welcome
you.
everybody to Calling It Now. It is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. We thought we would come in and talk about, I don't know, I've just kind of felt like it. I feel like stuff's been wild. It's funny how it's like both been wild and not wild because of the holiday, which kind of tells you a lot about what a scam a lot of the news stuff is, where it's like, you ever notice during the times that news anchors want to take off, like the weekend and holiday times, there's just like less news, less stuff's going on. I
Wait,
don't
what
know.
holiday is it? Am I high?
Well, we're coming, I mean, it's December, so we're coming up on the
Oh, you
Christian
mean just
Jewish
we're in
holidays.
the holiday season.
Yeah, so you get a lot of holiday anchor switch-ins and stuff like yeah, and it's just, and people are like, let's just take it easy for the month and then we'll pretend there's news again next month.
Meanwhile, it has been a like crazy month for shit.
Yeah, a lot of judge orders, a lot of I just I
Rest in
don't.
peace to those men on the fishing boats.
By the way, yeah, the other day, I don't remember if you told me what it was. You messaged me, dude, what the fuck is up with the legal system? Oh yeah, yeah, you did, you did. I was
Oh
just
yeah,
saying,
yeah. I did tell you.
yeah, Texas is just Texas is just wild.
Florida just designated two Muslim organizations as terrorist organizations.
Yeah, the Muslim Brotherhood, right? Which it's one of those
I don't
things
know
where,
anything about them as orgs.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, there are terrible religious organizations out there, but if you're going to do some, you have to do the rest. And I don't know about calling the Muslim Brotherhood terrorists. I can't stand them. They are fucking awful garbage people with awful garbage teachings. But uh, you know, is Westboro a terrorist organization yet? What's going on? I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well,
I on my, so on my stream, because I like to put like a list of topics for us. I
yeah.
put debate some leftists. I'm gonna get rid of the cucks. I said MAGA can't debate that Trump is ruining the country. Christianity can't be proven. Pro-choice. I'm gonna put is the best stance, and that trans men and women are men and women. MAGA can't debate any of those topics.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, people, this Saturday at 3 o'clock Central Time, you should be over at Patreon, even as a free patron. So if you go to patreon.com/call the line, even if you are a free patron, no patronage necessary. Usually this is capped. You have to be at the $15 tier or above. But because we hit that charity goal, this month's LineCon Online Live, anybody can attend as long as you are at least a free patron. It is going to feature Matt Dillahunty, Jovan Bradley, and Alyssa Lube, and they will all be giving 20-minute talks on a subject of their choice, followed by an hour-long Q&A with them. You definitely don't want to miss that. Go to patreon.com/call the line. Again, even free patrons will be able to attend that. So
Can I
it's
have
going to be,
video elements in my presentation?
you can technically do whatever you want because you could use vMix as your web capture,
Sick. Okay.
like as your
Sick.
webcam. Yeah, I mean, some people do PowerPoints, some people do. I always just say, like, whatever you guys want to produce on your end. With Erica, there were last minute tech issues, so we worked a PowerPoint in, and she just had to say next slide for us to move things, but we can't do it. Anyway, we're here and willing to talk to people about whatever we disagree on. That phone number is right up there, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. 336-543-2101. Bruh, bruh.
I really want to try this new YouTube feature. I'm just trying to figure out what's nice is coughing. At least in vMix, they give you the vertical guidelines, so you will know what's in the vertical stream at the very least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish you could send two stream keys to it and it just combined.
Okay, I have a point of contention to raise with you.
With me? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Pluribus is excellent. There is
Great.
zero way to say that it is better than Breaking Bad yet. There's no way to. Is it off to a
It
strong
bangs
start?
so hard.
Excellent. Am I more excited to see where it goes than any other season one of a show I've seen this year? Absolutely. But Breaking Bad's brilliance was in, and if anything, I wonder about how many places can this even go without
Well,
giving spoilers
I don't
away?
think this can go as long as Breaking Bad, right? This isn't a 5 season show,
Yeah.
I don't think. My issue is I do think Breaking Bad loses a dramatic amount of steam after Gus Fring's bit. After Gus is gone, I think Breaking Bad falls off very
I
hard, very fast.
I wouldn't say it falls very hard, but fell, right? Gus enhanced that to a degree that they had to come up with Better Call Saul. They literally had to come up with as compelling of characters as Gus to even make, I mean, Gus is in Better Call Saul and yet doesn't carry it because he can't be the prime thing because it's
Yeah.
about Saul and it would be weird if he was. So then bringing in Lalo Salamanca, who is like just my favorite part of all of the shows. I actually like Lalo more than Gus. Yeah, but anyway, Pluribus is absolutely excellent. Recommend anybody who enjoys having a show that they have to wait on where it feels more satisfying. I know some people are like, call me when it's over and I'll binge the whole thing.
Some shows like Pluribus, shows where it's a mystery and you can spend the in between weeks talking with your friends on like what's going to happen. How many episodes are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm caught up. So I'm
Okay,
7 episodes in.
I'm gonna have to catch up, and then me and we can actually talk about it while it's airing. But I'm 3 episodes I think in, because I also started Lucifer for some reason because YouTube Shorts
I
kept
like
giving me
Lucifer.
Lucifer quotes. I'm surprised. I didn't expect a CW show to bang so much, but Lucifer, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this. But like Pluribus, every episode I've watched so far, there hasn't been a moment where I have not been like hooked to the screen.
Yeah. So yeah, Pluribus is a show I put down the game. By the way, now also I do want to say this. I'm probably gonna wait a few days longer before getting back into the Pokemon DLC because I hate the calorie system. Hate it.
What is this? I haven't played it yet.
Oh, you haven't
Calorie
played.
system.
So like previous games, again, I want to not give away too much, but you can basically go now through
Well,
portals.
I don't care about spoilers. Chat, Mike. I don't give a shit about. I don't.
I'm not going to give
I
any
don't.
story based, but the game is
I
basically.
have. If you ask me, Jimmy, if you were to ask me, Jovan, what happened in the story of Pokemon ZA, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mashed past a lot of that anyway. But okay, so most of the game is now you go through a portal and then you're still in Lumio City, but you're in like an alternate dimension version of it. There's no people around, and then there's Pokemon there that are not the Pokemon usually you find there. Some of them are, but then some of them aren't. So you can now catch. I think they added 130 new Pokemon and then a bunch new Megas. But to get there, you have to feed this one Pokemon donuts, and that donut gives it some number of calories, and those calories are burned while you are in there. And when it runs out of those calories, it takes you back. So you can't just chill. You can't even just standing still burns calories. It can only keep you in there so long. So you have to like go in there, know what you're trying to do and get done. So I'm going to wait a few days until people are like, hey, here is the best donuts to use. We'll give you the most calories. We'll make you stay in there. I'm sure as you go through it, it probably evolves and is easier to do. But I'm like so frustrated with like, okay, I'm going to hit the dimension and try and go catch these things. And I have essentially like 2 minutes to do everything before I get pulled back out. I'm not a fan of that.
This sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm not liking. I'm open to it improving, but I'm not liking my experience so far. Yeah.
Gross.
Maybe sad. All right. Anyway, people say it's kind of like a roguelite mode. That's a pretty good way to describe it. If you disagree with us, we're leftists, we're atheists, we're pro-choice, we are anti-capitalism, we are anti-big business, we are, I don't know what else to like, I'm against, personally, I have a person who I love very much who just posted this thing on social media. She's like, here's the thing about religion. Okay, is it all inherently bad? No. But, and she goes on, and I just wanted to be like, is it all inherently bad? Yes. Religion is inherently bad. Faith is inherently bad. And if you
Yeah,
disagree, you're welcome to call and argue with me on it.
I'm constantly people will ask me and they'll be like, "Hey, is it's okay if people are still Christian though." I'm like, I don't think it is. I think it's bad to watch people give up any shroud of skepticism to
Yeah.
but I mean the line between people who believe religion and people who believe when Trump like believe Trump is telling the truth, like it has to be like that Venn diagram has to be a circle.
Right. It's lower. There are lower priorities, right? There are Christians who are a lower priority Christian than another kind of Christian. And I will spend time focusing on them because even in the meantime, while you have these more extreme versions of Christianity or Islam or whatever, taking away that progressive middle step of people they could consult with probably would be disadvantageous anyway. So focusing on where the problem is obvious. But if we got rid of all of the extreme and now we were just down to a fully humanist society with progressive Christians as part of that humanist society, I would still debate the progressive Christians. I would still,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be done because it just is not, it's not worth it for society to have excuses for when it's okay to suspend critical thinking. Because at some point, and right now it's not even a slippery slope argument. The slope done slipped. It slipped up. It's the worst slip inside you've ever heard of. But if we were more reversing it, if we were in that society where everybody's humanist, but they're still progressive Christians, you would eventually lose it because of those permissions. But anyway, we'll get started here and we'll talk to Kevin in California. Kevin in California is left leaning, wants to talk to Jovan about one of his beliefs. Kevin, how old are you?
I am 30.
And have you voted in the last, let's see, that would qualify you for the last 3 elections. Did you vote in all 3 Trump elections?
I don't remember the very first one. I don't remember if I did. I wasn't super into politics at that point. But
it was Trump versus Hillary.
Yeah, honestly, if I did vote, I don't remember who I voted for.
I'm going to guess that's a no, because I think you'd either remember if you voted for the most like loud, crazy person ever or the first woman for president ever. I feel like that would be an easy one to remember.
I was a very shitty person then. So
okay.
It's possible. I could have gone either way.
And then Biden or Biden, Trump, who'd you vote for?
Biden. Everything else is against Trump 100%.
Okay, so you voted for Harris in 24?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Just getting a little picture here. All right. What is your point of contention here today?
Yeah. So I just listened to a video from Jovan from like 10 months ago, arguing with somebody about abolishing the police, what we could use to fill that in and how that would work and be implemented. And I had just sent a comment basically stating that I don't like how the conversation was going and would look forward to having a conversation to clarify some points. So I actually have a little, some bullet points on it. So give me 1 second.
Wait, so are you calling to monologue or you're calling to contend?
More just kind of ask questions and get clarification on some stuff.
Okay. In the meantime, so the phone number is 336-543-2101. If anybody wants to call in to contend with any of our positions, leftist, atheist, 336-543-2101. Give us that call. All right, what was your questions?
So, Jovan, with when we talk about the distinction between protecting life versus property or human well-being versus property, obviously we should always err on the side of human well-being. There was a bit of words said about how the police now mostly just protect property, specifically private property.
Police as a function. They're not a function. They're not a service created for the protection of people. They're a service created to protect private property or capital interests.
Mm-hmm. And so even if officers do something that protects somebody's life, they as a whole still err on the side of protecting private property. And so even if they do some good thing, protect life, as a whole, it's still a negative detriment.
Yes.
And then, so if we do try to abolish that, obviously we'll still have something that will protect people in the case that someone goes crazy or somebody does something horrible and evil and starts trying to hurt people. Would they be solely dedicated to just doing that kind of thing with protecting life?
Yeah, I mean, you can still have a function in any society that's created to prioritize like protection, right? You just the rules for that have to be drastically different than the rules of what police are. So I don't mind a system that's used in order to protect people, but if you focus on minimizing wealth inequality and minimizing poverty, you're not going to need as large of a force for like bodily protection.
Not. Yeah, it seems to me that anytime people get upset about the concepts of having a non-police state, having a different set of services, that they're always framing it of like, well, that wouldn't work, because they're thinking about what wouldn't work in our current society the way it is set up. And if you're not going to go with the holistic answer, then yeah, of course, right now our society relies on the police because it's important to the peacefulness of our society that poor people stay in their places. Like that's what our beautiful capitalist system brings to
right now police exist so the state can monopolize violence against the people, right? The state can use violence against you. You can't use violence to protect yourself against the state. So it's an unequal imbalance of power.
Okay. And so when it comes to like, and I know the distinction with communism with like private versus personal property is very important. So when we do talk about abolishing the police and their protection over private property, would we still, like, you would still advocate for some form of some organization that protects or enforces, or whatever the word you want to use, for personal property?
Protect in what way?
Never to the point where we would harm somebody over just literally property, but in the way that, like, you could take somebody to court for losses made by someone else's doing. I don't know. It's like hypotheticals. It's hard to exactly word what it would be, but we would still want something, and we would still implement something for that. We wouldn't just leave it to, well, you got your stuff stolen. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, in a post-need society, I don't necessarily think theft will be that large of an issue. It may be the case that it's not going to be theft. Most theft would be taken up by like a council of people, right? Because it's going to be more akin to like a civil matter. Because what do you need to steal? Like, oh, I looked at my neighbor and he has a PlayStation. Okay, so just go get yourself a PlayStation, right? Yep. We're in a post capital society, so you don't need to steal from someone to get the things that you want.
Unless you specifically want to do harm to that specific person in some way.
Yeah,
but even then, you can go get your thing back.
Yeah.
Okay, and just one more thing. I know I'm trying to figure out my distinction between being socialist versus communist and what exactly they mean and what exactly I would err towards. Communism, I hear a lot, it's stateless. What exactly does a stateless society look like? I can't wrap my head around that from what I've read.
Think about any indigenous tribe. They didn't have states. You know, they had communities of smaller tribes, but they didn't have like states. They didn't have countries. A state is essentially just a country when we use it in that context.
And is there something inherently bad with having like some kind of national or unification to, I mean, just all peoples?
My fear in any sort of state existing is that the state will end up collecting power for capital. That would be my my worry of a state.
Obviously, we do not want that to happen. I don't know that I don't see how it's necessarily inherent. I understand the fear of it, I just don't see how it would always occur, if that makes sense.
I mean, I would say it has always occurred. I can't think of a single state that hasn't eventually led to a power grab for capital.
But I feel like that would end up turning kind of like tribalistic, where we go against the other tribes that are nearby again and kind of just reset the whole cycle.
I don't know about resetting the cycle. You could, I mean, theoretically, you can have a state whose entire purpose is just to protect the working class, to protect their cooperation of the means of production. But like, the minute you get one person that's able to game that system, so long.
I think the main reason why socialists like myself want a state is because we don't believe we can exist without a state, without then having whatever stateless societies exist to eventually get conquered by state societies. The moment statelessness occurs, unless you've achieved worldwide statelessness, which is unlikely, you can have it at the large level of every time I watch a documentary about a cult that gets crazy and how much power they even end up getting in just like a city is when that's like the point where I go, and this is probably why I can't do communism, because I will always think that a state needs to exist to protect us from other states, whether that's a cult-based state or Russia, which I can see from my house.
And I can see how, like, we don't know what that society, what the people would act like when we truly have something really, like, socialistic. Everybody's needs are met. Like, we haven't had that before, so we don't know how people would act. Would we still have people gunning to just get everything that they want and more? Would that resource accumulation still happen, even though there's really no need for it? Like, we know that human beings, we just kind of like collecting stuff sometimes. Like, we have little niches that we like to fill.
Hey, Space Wizard in the chat, why aren't you calling in? Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, Kevin, but I've become totally bored with this conversation. We're kind of circling in a, I don't know. Anyway, I want
you guys have a better call.
I want to fight. I want to contend. No, we don't. So I'm going to start calling out some people in the chat. Hey, chat people. Hey, MAGA. I think you're not calling because you can't. I think you're calling because you know there is nothing defensible about being MAGA, about Trump, about being conservative, about being capitalist. I think you know you can't do it. Ooh, Space Wizard talking lots of shit in the chat, because that's the only place you can do it, because you know if things get heated and you have to actually make some answers, you can just go copy and paste some chat GPT stuff. You can't actually fucking put your feet to the fire. And this is why you guys aren't calling. Where are the people? Where is the intellectual right that supposedly exists now? Thank you, Jordan Peterson and Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk. There's none of you. You guys aren't here. Where are you at?
A solid 13% of the MAGA in my chat said they're not too scared to call in yet.
Where are they at?
Where they at?
Where'd that call? Anyway, go ahead, Kevin. Finish up your.
Wait, Kevin, call MAGA scared real quick.
MAGA people, you're all a bunch of little pussies.
That's true. I have heard that.
But no, yeah, thanks. It helps clarify a lot of the things that's in my head. It's definitely more of a conversation that you have with like buddies while drinking during the night, and you're like, oh, what would this look like? So I get it. But yeah, you guys have fun. Find some little MAGA people to argue with, and enjoy your day. Have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah, you too.
I love too the people who think that they are intellectually right wing on threads, the stuff they say. For example, okay, I'm going to read you guys some MAGA threads, okay? And if you agree, if you support this, I will you call in and I will debunk that shit. You know what the easiest fucking one to debunk lately is? Here's one way they worded it. If you skip due process coming in, you shouldn't get it going out. MAGA, if you're listening, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't actually believe that. You do want, quote unquote, illegals, the illegals. You want illegal immigrants to have due process. I promise you do. even if you sit there and pretend you don't. And I can prove it if you call in 336-543-2101. I can prove that you do want illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, undocumented Americans, whatever you want to call them. You actually do want them to have due process. We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flag.
I assume you didn't watch Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius growing up as a kid.
I did not.
Okay, for those of us in the chat who did, because we're millennial garbage, the voice actor of Sheen died today. So rest in peace to a legend. I guarantee none of you knew his name, because I didn't know his name, but he was still a legend.
We'll probably be set up soon enough that we can actually host. Somebody had said you should call out MAGA TikTokers and creators to debate you guys. Soon enough, I think we'll be able to easily invite them on air and be able to do it. And I want to do it. I designed it last year. Then y'all know I took some time for health, and then I got better, and then recently I got worse again. Anyway, in 2026, I'm wanting to be platforming these kinds of debates where the debates and the topics are kind of town hall driven. So not only will we have shows like this where it's Jovan and I, it might be myself and somebody we would consider an opponent. People are calling in and asking, hey, leftist versus blah, 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 atheist versus blah, blah, blah. What's your take on blah, 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 and then having a chance to respond, all that shit. So that sort of thing is certainly possible after the new year.
The problem that I've noticed with MAGA, for instance, those MAGA TikTokers, they like to sit on panels of like 20 people where they can have like 5 of their friends there ready for backup. Yeah. Because that's just, they can't handle a debate separate. And they like to, like, I don't know. I want someone to call in who's MAGA and tell me why why it was okay for Donald Trump to shoot down the fishing boats. Call me and tell me why it's okay that he pardoned a dude that trafficked 400 tons of cocaine into the country. Call me and tell me why it's okay that he does not know who the people he pardons are. He literally doesn't know. He was asked by or what about his cognitive decline? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that a reporter asked him if he would release the video of the second strike on the Venezuela fishing boats. And he said, absolutely, we'll release it soon. We'll be transparent about it. And then 5 days later, Jimmy, 5 days, a reporter says, hey, a few days ago, you said you were going to release this. Do you have any idea when? He was like, I never said that.
Dude, did you see him recently go, with Jerome Powell, I was very surprised when they put Jerome Powell in that, when they nominated Jerome Powell, he's terrible for that job. And then the back-to-back of him saying that, and then literally he's the guy who nominated Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is his appointee. So you can literally go from, I don't know what they were thinking when they put in Jerome Powell to, and today I am nominating, as everybody wanted me to, Jerome Powell. He's going to be great. Anyway, Space Wizard, I'm kind of tired of you. So you either call in with your silly points, or you get timed out, because I'm a fascist. When it comes to my live chat, I will genocide the people I don't like in the live chat. So,
damn, are we pulling Israel in the chat?
Yeah, by the way, guys, when it comes to me as a mod, call me Netanyahu. Jeez Louise. Now, who's going to fund it? Who's going to
call me Netanyahu the way I be blowing up her toilet?
Shit. Is that a real line, or did you just say that?
I just said that right now.
That's pretty good.
Call me and tell me why Trump is willing to now cede the pieces of Ukraine that Russia has been holding and just say, yeah, let's just give it to Russia.
Dude, whoever's been screening, I have to imagine they're just ranting and ranting and ranting because they've been screening for a while.
3 minutes.
Babe, move them along. Tell them to rush.
It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes a long time.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're like waiting on screenings to go through and stuff.
No,
but yeah,
3 minutes. 3 minutes is a long time for you, huh, Jimmy?
This is this is one of those things. Oh, and it's not even a debate thing. James, this is not the show. All right. James.
They said they're MAGA.
James from Massachusetts, you're MAGA. It says you're MAGA, but that your friend's transitioning, and I'm not sure about how to go about it with other people. This would be look, do you know about the Transatlantic Call-In Show, James? It's every Thursday at 2:00 Central.
Repeat that.
Have you heard of? Do you know our other channel, The Line?
Oh, I think I've seen some videos. I think I've seen what is his name? The biologist on there. I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, I think he's done a couple shows with them before.
So James, every Thursday on The Line, there's a show called the Transatlantic Call-In Show, and rather asking two cis people how trans people would like to be treated, you can ask trans people who are actually experts on it. So you could call tomorrow at 2:00 Central. They go for 3 hours. They go till 5, and you can talk to actual trans people about it. If it is in fact the case that you are MAGA, I still want to talk to you, but it is much better to talk about trans people with trans people than to talk about them without them.
Very fair.
Yeah. So why are you MAGA?
So I gotta be on. I did vote in 2024, hoping I was kind of the fell for it again award kind of thing for the.
Am I crazy? I'm having such a hard time hearing you, James. It's like you're a little muffled.
Yeah, I hear you. If you are we on speaker or anything? Can we get the call more clear? I picked up that you voted in 2024 that you fell for it again, is what you said.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. One moment. Is this better? Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
All right. So let's give that another shot. So you voted for. First of all, how old are you, James?
24.
So you voted for Trump. You would have been able to vote for Biden or Trump. Who did you vote for in 20?
I voted for Biden in 20.
Okay. So you went Biden and then Trump. If you could have voted in 16, who were you supporting in 16? Hillary or Trump?
I was definitely not really into politics at the time. I don't really have a full answer for that.
Okay.
What made you go Biden and then Trump? What made you make that change?
I guess just following just like people around me, just like cause I've never been fully into politics recently, but like that's what I've heard around like family and stuff like that. Is that
I hate that phrase.
You're worried about money?
What is politics? James, what do you think politics is? Because I honestly, like, you're not getting crazy, so I'm not going to get crazy at you. But the way, like, I want to get rude whenever somebody says I'm not into politics. What is politics to you? Like, what would you say is politics? What is the thing you're not into?
The thing I'm not into, I guess I shouldn't say that I'm not into politics. I shouldn't say I'm not like putting a lot of time, putting a lot of like energy into like learning about all the policies people are putting in and whatnot. Like I didn't put a lot of. It's hard to say now. I'm definitely trying to get better at it nowadays, but
could you name a group of people in society that you feel like they get treated like absolute shit and we should do something about it? We should help them? Any group of people?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. What would be a group like that?
From what I've learned right now, after a decent amount of research and whatnot, that like what I was just calling about learning about trans people and whatnot.
Okay, what's another group?
Pretty significant point.
Let's try and get a list of 5.
Another group?
If we can. I want to see if we can't get to 5. Yeah. We got trans people right now. What about in the news this week? What's a group of people that are being unfairly targeted by the current administration because they're an easy target? Do you know who I'm talking about? Starts with an S.
Recently, the Somali immigrants. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, there you go. What about just give me another group of people that are really getting a shitty shake. Let's go with a group of people who have been getting a shitty shake for at least the last 100 years in America.
The last 100 years in America.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably just all immigrants at that point.
Sure, immigrants. How are gay people treated? Do you like the way gay people are treated?
Not at all. No,
How about poor people? Do you feel like America has like really done a good job taking care of its poor people?
Taking care of its poor people?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I've got my group of 5. So here's the reason why this pisses me off so much, James.
Mhm.
So you've said trans people get treated like absolute shit, and you wish we could do something to help them, right? Somalians treated like shit, wish you could do something to help them. Immigrants treated like shit, wish you could do something to help them. Gay people treated like shit, wish you could do something to help them. Poor people treated like shit, you wish you could do something to help them. Is that right in all 5 cases?
Yes.
But you can't be bothered to get interested in politics?
Yes, that's exactly it. Well, like I said, I'm definitely more involved
no.
now.
Yes, that's exactly it. Is
But,
you're full of shit if you're pretending you care about those people and say, yeah, I'm not into politics. I can't be bothered. You know, I really want to do something for poor people, gay people, trans people, immigrants, Somalians. I'd love to, but I can't really. Like, I'm just not into it. You know.
No, but that's what I meant when I first voted. You know, I didn't pay attention to the news and all that, and I just simply voted for who people around me said was the better idea. And now that I've, learned, I've paid attention to a lot of the news recently, it's horrifying, everything going on. Like,
so now what are you going to do?
War criminals and stuff like that now.
You said in this call that you're not so much into politics, right? So what are you going to do different now? I hope you're now telling us that is behind you, that that's not you anymore.
Yes.
And you are now into it because you recognize the only way to take care of these people is to do something on a massive scale. That not being into politics means not being into people, not being into humans.
Absolutely.
So what are you going to do now?
Absolutely. That's what I've been watching the show for. I really appreciate the recommendation for the show tomorrow. I'll definitely see if what time is it again?
It's from 2 to 5 Central Time. Good 3-hour window.
Okay.
Yeah. And then even if we have a trans person, sometimes we have trans people on this show if you want to call this show when they're on, but I don't like the whole, how should I treat the, like a human? Generally, the answer is treat them the way they ask you to treat them. They're very rarely, it's not very often that they're going to ask you to do something that is truly a problem for you.
I've definitely phrased it in a pretty bad manner. I shouldn't have meant it like that. I should have meant it as how should I I'm in my entire group of people around me, friends, family, employees, like coworkers and stuff like that. I've been, entirely right wing, I guess, in that field, not fully believing why, but just being around that. And just
in
believing blindly in their ideas. In Massachusetts, yes, Cape Cod specifically. It's weird.
Highly recommend you get on what's the name of that service? Not GoFundMe. The community one where you can go find what there is to do in your area. Groupon, not
neighborhood.
No, we have one. We did one event through it not too long ago. Well, actually, a couple of years ago. What'd you say?
Was it the neighbor app? I feel like I've heard that being kind of like that.
Shit, I can't remember what it is. But whether you're using that or Facebook groups or whatever, highly recommend Meetup. Yeah, highly recommend you hit up Meetup or you hit up one of these things and go find a community of people that aren't. I'm not saying you have to abandon your friends and your family who you still love but are more right wing. But yeah, Grindr also. But certainly go and find a group of people who you're not just constantly exposed to. Being around conservatives genuinely rots your brain. And it changes imagine being a part of a group who thinks that the highest form of intellectualism is common sense.
Yeah, so the thing that happened recently in Cape Cod was a recent influx in Haitian amnesty citizens. And then damn near everyone around me specifically calls them illegal aliens. And when I learned that just not, I don't even think it's lying. I think they're just blindly following what they hear. That's just not what they are.
If they have amnesty, they aren't illegal.
Yeah.
They don't know. So conservatives don't know what any of their. I'll actually prove it to you, James. We'll let you go here and have you call. Keep watching the show. We're about to prove to you that conservatives don't know the words that they are using, and they don't have don't have meaningful definitions for them. All right.
Yeah, and another. Sorry, I just want to start one other thing.
Sure, last thought.
People currently believe that they're still being like so they were first given housing from like hotels and stuff like that for a little while. I think it was a couple months, maybe like half a year or so. But people still believe that they're completely, like being fully paid. They completely believe that they're still fully paid to like healthcare and stuff like that. And they made my closest family made the point that they were saying like they're bringing them in just so they can increase the Democrat vote, which is absolutely something I've learned that is not the case. That any sort of thing like that, it's so weird.
It's just replacement theory. Immigrants can't vote unless they become citizens, and a path to citizenship for immigrants is literally like core to American identity. So basically, they're just trying to come up with ways that they can. In reality, what they want to do is limit immigration, which in a funny way, it's horseshoe theory. They want to limit immigration so much that the only immigrants coming in are the ones adding Republican votes. So basically, if they can politically use immigration to only help them, that's what they would do. It's ironic where it's literally like, nope, we're just an immigrant nation. If that's the way things go, then that's the way things go. And they're like, no, we're an immigrant nation of white people. We need more Europeans and that sort of shit. James, it sounds like you're on a good path. Please, please, please maintain an interest in politics, because being a not interested in politics guy is totes cringe, yo.
Very fair. Very
Thanks,
fair.
James.
Absolutely. I appreciate it a lot. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Jovan, I'm positive you're going to be a fan of this next call.
Can't wait.
John in Illinois. John in Illinois, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. John, how old are you?
Hey, Jimmy and Jovan. How we doing? I'm 24 years old.
24. So you could have voted in the last 2 presidential elections. Who'd you vote for?
Donald Trump both times.
Trump both
but first,
times.
I want to say real quick, I heard we lost a real one today. Sheen's voice actor. Broke my heart to hear that. That really sucks. I wasn't paying attention to that.
I had my heart broken this week. I have to fact check it, but I've been told Frankie Muniz is a super conservative, and if that's true, I'm now no longer going to be able to enjoy the Malcolm in the Middle remake or reunion.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
damn.
That'll be very sad for me. All right, John, what do you got?
I don't judge people based off of who they vote for, just because both sides of the political spectrum are kind of
John, that's
owned
not
by
true,
the
though,
same
right?
people. So.
John, that's not a true statement. You want to say that about right now, maybe, and I generally I don't believe you. But if your contention is that it's not okay to judge someone for who they voted on, certainly you wouldn't feel that way if the vote was like an extreme vote, right? Like you would judge anybody back from the 20s or the 30s in Germany who voted for Hitler, right? You'd be like, actually,
I would not.
Wild.
That was a completely
and also
different situation before.
Yeah, John, I just don't believe you.
1930s Germany in the Weimar Republic. If you do your history lesson there, you will understand why someone voted for a populist.
I know why lots of people voted for him, even with all of the tremendous red flags. And let's not forget that both his rise to power and then his continuation and maintaining of power, what actually supported all of that and how pivotal to it, for example, the centuries previous to that of deep Christian anti-Semitism was.
Right.
So yeah, we can.
But would you call Oskar Schindler a horrible person?
I think you're trying to shift the goalpost.
No, I'm just if you're making
judging a person. You just said that judging a person,
people who vote for a Nazi. If you're making generalized statements about people who vote for a populist at that time who turned into
you said Nazi, you don't judge
we
people.
have to talk about Oskar Schindler.
I said yes, you do, and now you have changed it from
out of Europe.
You changed it from judging a person to designating a person What did you call him? What did you say? Do you think Oscar Schindler was what?
Oscar Schindler. Oscar Schindler was a hero.
Right,
He
but
got
what did
the,
you ask me?
Jews
You didn't
into
say
his
the phrase,
factory
do you judge Oscar
and shipped
Schindler
them
for
out
his
to Germany
vote? Because
before
of
they were
course
killed.
I do. Of course I would judge Oscar Schindler for voting for a Nazi. But
that
you
wasn't
switched it
his
to, do you
morals,
think
right?
he is a, what did you say was the
His
phrase?
morals did not align with Adolf Hitler, did they?
Again, you
Even
are
though he
avoiding the
voted for a
actual,
Nazi.
why are you not answering my question at all? You're just ignoring it. And you're just trying to get
okay.
your thing out.
So what
You know
was your
what? You called
question?
in about you called in to whine about trans people. I'll give you to Jovan because this is already failing with you. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, what's your take on trans people, John? Let's hear it.
Okay, so throughout the course of human history, if you've had a penis, you're defined as a man. If you have a vagina, you're defined as a woman. If you don't have, or you have a mix of both, you're defined as a hermaphrodite. We invented those words, but they've met the same they've meant the same thing throughout almost 2 millennia, and even before that. So I guess my question is,
It's not even
why
correct.
do we have to go along with this?
Why do we have language changes, right?
Language changes, yes, but not nature.
Yeah. We're not talking about nature. We're talking about language.
Why are we talking about? Okay, so you.
Well, because you're talking about
saying
whether
that
or not
nature
you
can't
said we
change.
use these words to mean these things. That's a language conversation. Why not change the words?
Because you're using the words to say that nature can change. It can't.
I'm using the word to say that nature can change. I don't think you understand the nature, because when
doesn't
we say that when a baby has a penis, so we go, that baby's a boy. We're just making an educated guess, right? We
No,
don't know for sure.
That baby
Yes.
is a male.
No. Are
Male
penises
constitutes
sex
boy.
determinate traits? Or are penises determined by your sex?
Oh, you know what I love is you don't even realize, John, do you know that you've already given up the
99.9999%
argument?
of cases.
John, did you know you've already given up the argument because you've already changed your language to adapt when a one factor was? You went, no,
So,
that child
I
is a
said
boy,
male, right? I said
therefore
boy.
they're a male. But you called in talking about, why do I need to call a trans man a man or a trans woman a woman? And already when
Yes, why?
hey, John, what is a woman? What's your definition?
Oh. A woman is a human being with a vagina.
Any human being with a vagina.
Male sex characteristics.
So wait. A
Who
1-year-old,
female
with a
sex
vagina.
characteristics.
Excuse me, John. A 1-year-old with a vagina is a woman?
That's a girl. That's a baby girl.
No. You said a human with a vagina is a woman. So a 1-year-old is a woman?
I see. Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
You want to amend your definition?
So, a female.
Well, wait,
yes, I just don't want to.
I don't want to move.
Female.
I really quick. I don't want to move too far away from this, because I just want to pinpoint with what we talked, like with what happened earlier. Penises, vaginas, these are all none of these are sex determinant traits. A penis doesn't dictate what your sex is. A vagina doesn't dictate what your sex is.
In 99.99999% of cases.
No, that's not how genetics works,
If a person
John.
has a penis,
That's not how genetics
they're
works, John.
male. Yeah, you can look at the numbers. That is how genetics works.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. Also, Jimmy, you go.
He's got to take care of his kid. I'm going to go back to my thing, because I'm actually, the point I'm proving is you actually know it is a social construct, the concept of men versus women, because you have to now change your definition again. When I said, is a 1-year-old a woman? You said, no, that's a girl, because these are terms that are based on society. And so what's the difference between a girl and a woman? Adulthood. Do we go with some biological marker? Do we wait until a girl has gotten her period? Do we ask a girl if she has her period, whether or not she's had her period, so we know whether or not to call her a woman? Is that the marker of an adult? what is the marker of an adult? In America, federally at 18, you're an adult, but the age of consent, sort of implying some other type of intellectual adulthood, is different state to state. So even between different states, you have different concepts of adulthood. Meanwhile, at 18, you're adult enough to go in the military, but not drink booze. So clearly you aren't considered a fully brain developed adult, even by your own government, until 21. But there are other societies like in England where you actually at 15, you can drink alcohol with a meal when accompanied by an adult. So the concept of adult adding to your definition, even that isn't consistent across cultures and certainly not consistent throughout history, just as every time we bring up the number of pedophiles that are in Abrahamic religion's history, and then people go, yeah, but it was different back then. Girls of that age were considered women. They were considered adults. So the concept of a woman is clearly already fluid, because your qualifier of adult essentially is the word you forgot to add to it earlier.
I wasn't making the argument on adults. I was making the argument that you using language.
You said you are born a man or a woman.
Defy science.
You said you are born a man or a woman. No one here has contended that male and female aren't mostly going to be.
Does man imply male? Does woman imply
even
female?
using the word imply suggests that there is wiggle room. Man can imply male. Man can.
Your genetic factors
You're making up these numbers.
Whether you're a man or a woman.
You are making up these numbers. Call the actual biologist who does the show. You're making up these numbers. Man or woman. Males are often going to males are most often going to be men. Females are most often going to be women. But just as there is fluidity with that concept of an adult, there's even fluidity in the concept of male and female, as not necessarily having to do with genome, not necessarily having to do with genitals, but experience. The people who have a female or male experience of some kind, the people who, when expected to behave or perform in gender roles that are counter to their identity, there is fluidity within all of those concepts. And you've already acknowledged that the word woman is a socially different. What is the definition of an adult? When is a person definitively an adult and not a child?
Let me qualify this first, because I want you to hear this. I do believe there are trans people.
Well, that would be weird if you didn't believe they didn't exist at all.
Yeah. I want you to know that I don't believe in a definite dichotomy of sexes, but I believe that true trans people will be a combination of both sex characteristics.
Great. That's great for you. That's called intersex. I'm going to go with science, and you can continue to go with what you learned from the movie Kindergarten Cop.
Never saw the movie, dude.
And yet you basically are down to the boys have a penis, girls have a vagina, and that's it. So that's really beautiful that not only are you sitting there going, I believe true trans people exist, but the people who I think are trans people aren't even trans people. There are non-trans intersex individuals. And so you're literally going, I believe these people exist. They're just these people over here. It's just unimpressive, John. And once again, I'm going to stick with actual science. You've already acknowledged that there is fluidity to the definitions.
Your Frankfurt school?
Yes, my Frankfurt school. That's it. That's the only science that exists. Not literally now up to hundreds to thousands of journals written on psychology. I know that John, you've got your script and you've got your here's the only example I can hide behind. It's not going to work here, John.
People in the live chat, look up the Frankfurt School. Look up Magnus Hirschfeld.
People in the chat, please look up only the things that I tell you. And by the way, if you could also then make sure that conservatives tell you how to interpret the things you read there. I've already articulated my argument, which is that you're full of shit because you already acknowledge that there are fluidities to these concepts. I've already addressed the fact that you have the anti-scientific position that this is
Magnus Hirschfeld.
I'm sorry, what?
denounce Magnus
John, I'm not a
Hirschfeld.
dancing monkey. I don't do what you tell me because you want me to.
Why would we even denounce
Okay,
Magnus Hirschfeld?
all right.
Why would we denounce him in the first place?
Because the father of the trans ideology was convicted of sexually assaulting boys and girls.
Does that mean a single thing about anything else of in his life?
I'm not saying he can't be an intellectual. I'm saying your thought process.
No, you are.
stems
You're actually trying to
from a
use a
flawed
fallacy.
character.
As I already brought up, that there is tons of science on it. You are trying to get it just down to the one guy and go, oh, but that guy was a pedophile. Therefore, what? Oh, you know what? You win. That guy's a pedophile. Trans people, get to the camps. We're detransing you. We're screwing things back on because that one guy's a pedophile. John, you're a nonsense
wait, but I'm so
person.
confused. I'm just so confused because Magnus Hirschfeld was never convicted of pedophilia. So I'm confused what he's talking about. Are you just making stuff up, John?
You look up Magnus Hirschfeld. Look up his experiments.
Magnus Hirschfeld was never convicted of pedophilia, and there's no credible historical evidence that he committed sexual crimes against children. So there's Nazi propaganda. Are you telling us you fall for Nazi propaganda, John? That's crazy.
I don't fall for Nazi propaganda.
That claim originates almost entirely from Nazi propaganda. That claim originates almost entirely from Nazi. Okay, so what's your evidence, John? Show what's the court conviction. Give us the case number. When in Germany was he tried for pedophilia?
I will not
give us a year.
Evidence.
Oh, you don't have the evidence? Crazy.
Look up Magnus
Crazy,
Hirschfeld.
John. No, John. I'm sorry. Are you too lazy to look up your own evidence for your claim? That's really embarrassing. That's an embarrassment. I've seen it before. That's an embarrassment. Do you sniff buttholes, John? Because the only thing more embarrassing than what you're doing right now is sniffing buttholes. So I assume you sniff buttholes.
Dude, just trust. Look up Magnus.
Do you have? There's no evidence.
Dude, I'm literally looking up. There's literally no evidence of it. I'm looking up.
No evidence.
When you play devil's advocate.
No evidence. I don't give a shit about your devil's advocacy. I don't care about your devil's advocacy. I want you to provide evidence. If you can't provide evidence, then your claim is about as true as a goddamn unicorn.
John, rather than tell us where, instead of telling us to Google and do your homework for you, that's called weaponizing your ignorance. You want us to do your homework to go find your support for your position that is unsupported.
From work. I'm not
Stop, John. I'm not done talking. You tell us the trustworthy source that we can go and read a confirmation of that which you have just told us. That's all you have to do. What is the trustworthy source we can go and look into?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is not a source. Wikipedia does sourcing. And
hey, Jimmy, you want to know? Jimmy, hold on. But you want to know what's so funny? If you look up Magnus Hirschfeld on Wikipedia and you look up like conviction, it's nowhere on the Wikipedia page.
Let's see. Pedophile.
He needs to be convicted to be a pedophile? What about all those?
You need some kind of good evidence. What evidence?
Fun fact, when you type in pedophilia, nothing comes up on the Wikipedia page.
I'm looking for it.
That is a great.
Maybe you just can't read, John. Maybe you just can't read.
By the way, it's funny that you called him the father of gender ideology. Who calls him that?
Who calls him that?
Yeah.
You would have to pull up a source that calls him that. He's been called that.
It's only going to be your side. If I if I go to Magnus Hirschfeld,
that is fair.
on Wikipedia and I type in and I do a control F. Do you know what control F does on a browser?
Okay, so you say
no. Hang on. You said I could find it on Wikipedia. Do you know what control F does on a browser?
No, what does that do?
It's a find tool. You hit control F, and then if you type in a word, it will highlight anywhere that word shows up, and it'll start letter by letter. So if I hit the letter P on this page, there's 1,356 instances of the letter P. If I hit the letter E, now we are down to 222 instances of P and E together. If I hit the letter D, we are now down to 19 instances, most of them the ped in Wikipedia.
So
PD.
No zero.
Now hang on. If I hit the letter O, I am now down to 0 results on the entire Magnus Hirschfeld Wikipedia. Right? So you said I could find the reliable information about him being a pedophile on Wikipedia, and I can't even find the word, the 4 letters PEDO in sequence, even a part of another word anywhere on the page.
Okay, I guess I was wrong on my sources there, but you can find it. Like you said,
We know
if
you were
look
wrong.
from my side.
No, you can't.
I'm sure Nick Fuentes
John?
probably has a link somewhere.
Where?
I'm sure there's Turning Point USA, I'm sure, has some sort of thing written out there about what a pedophile he was.
TPUSA probably doesn't have anything about Magnus
And then
Hirschfeld,
here at the very end of the day, if we found that he was a pedophile, we would have to sit there and go, what was the big controversy?
Well, you want to know the craziest thing, Jimmy? You want to know the craziest thing?
Cousin or something weird?
Jimmy, do you want to know the craziest thing? You know that phrase we keep using, pedophile. That phrase we keep using. Do you know who created that phrase?
A pedophile?
No, Magnus Hirschfeld.
Oh, that's right.
Magnus Hirschfeld?
He literally created the phrase pedophile to describe adults who are attracted to children.
Guess he had to find a way to describe himself or something.
He created the distinction between being sexually attracted to children and homosexuality, because at his time, people still treated homosexuals as pedophiles.
Okay.
So the only reason you're able to label people pedophiles is thanks to Magnus Hirschfeld, by the way.
That he actually distinguished the attraction. I don't know whether he invented the term. I'll take Jovan's.
He created the category of pedophilic attraction to boys under the age of puberty. He created that.
Magnus Hirschfeld created the term, that doesn't mean that it didn't exist in another form of language before. Going back to your first point.
He literally just explained to you that he created and identified that it was categorically different from homosexuality, and that it existed, that it wasn't being spoken about. It wasn't a whole thing before then.
I assume,
John, I think you're just upset. John, I think you're just upset because when you were debating Jimmy was just operating under the guise that, like, you might have been correct, and now you're upset that somebody came in and fact checked you, and you realized, holy shit, I don't check my facts. Jimmy, I don't care, John. You realize okay. So hold on. I'm gonna mute you.
We literally just fact checked you. And I fact checked you where you told me to fact check you, and you just had the audacity to say, we are not checking your facts. You fucking told me to go to Wikipedia. I went where you directed me for a fact check, and that's still not a fact check? How redacted do you have to be a MAGA fucking piece of shit? Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I muted him, but he told us what he's here to do. He said, I'm just here to shoot the shit. He's not here in any serious way. We have other callers on the line who might actually seriously give a shit and want to actually debate. John doesn't want to debate. John doesn't actually give a fuck. So why are we still doing this?
Right. And by the way, Charles Darwin married his first Hey, Hey, John, do you believe in evolution?
Do I get a mute button?
No. Do you believe in evolution?
I don't get a mute button, so you guys can do that to me, but I can't do that to you. Okay.
Correct. Right. We are not equals here. You don't know how to run a show like this. You suck at debating. You need your handheld. John,
I have respect for you guys.
Do you believe in the theory of evolution?
I don't respect you.
John, do you believe in the theory of evolution?
Okay, sure.
Do you believe in the theory of evolution, John?
The theory of evolution, right?
Yes. Do you accept it as correct, as true?
Okay. So the theory of evolution, Charles Darwin,
it's a yes or no question. It started with Charles Darwin. Clearly, we have evolved it because Charles Darwin was wrong about a lot of things like genetics. But yes, that its core is Darwinian evolution. Do you accept the theory of evolution?
Under which pretense?
All right. I'm not doing this pedantry. Goodbye, John. But by the way, Charles Darwin married his first cousin, so evolution can't be true. Just so you all know. I just want to see something.
What an absolute fucking shitbag.
By the way, I think he was trying to get around to, I accept microevolution, but not macroevolution. John in Canada, is a different John, says he's a conservative, says I'm wrong about conservatives. We are the ones with common sense. John, so here's the thing. If that makes me wrong about them, I think if you go back and you watch, I said, imagine being a conservative who believes that the height of intellectualism is common sense. And it seems to me that perhaps you are proving it true if you are describing me as saying, therefore, conservatives don't have common sense. It seems to me you might be proving the broader point I was bringing, which is that modern society needs much better than common sense answers. Common sense is what got us to thunder is God being mad, that we need more than that, and you shouldn't run a society on common sense. What say you, John from Canada?
Science begins with common sense. If you don't have common sense, you can't do science. You can't figure anything out.
Utterly disagree. I do not think Isaac Newton, I don't think Isaac Newton was Isaac Newton's propensity for non-common sense, for breaking past it. If you're just saying you have to be able to function in the society and look at a potato and not think that's a banana, that's not exactly common sense. That's just like basic level comprehension of your surroundings.
What the F are you talking about, Jimmy? What are you talking about?
I'm aware, John, that you can't figure this out. John, you said that you have to start science with common sense. I'm saying conservatives never go past common sense, that they only appeal to common sense.
Some of the best scientists have common sense. We're the ones who know the difference between right and wrong.
Name one of the best scientists.
What?
Who's one of the best scientists, John? Name one.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's not a conservative.
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein wasn't a conservative.
John, do you believe Tylenol causes autism?
What?
Do you believe Tylenol causes autism?
Autism? No,
do you believe
ridiculous.
that? Okay, because fun fact, that's what your president and head of human health or whatever RFK is. That's what they have been claiming.
Well, your candidate wants to put.
We're not. I don't have a candidate. I don't have a candidate because there's no election running right now. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait. What anti-scientific thing were you about to say Kamala Harris wanted?
Do you want to put men in women's spaces? And she wants to. She wants to let immigrants just walk
incorrect.
Right in.
Incorrect. Excuse me. Yeah. Both of those were incorrect. The Biden administration literally proposed the most conservative legislation that they tried to get passed by the Congress. The difference was Biden wasn't willing to go the executive order route, though he still did quite a bit of it the way Trump has. Trump has expanded tyrannical executive power in a way that Republicans will regret when they no longer have power. Now, your thing about she doesn't want to put men in women's spaces. She follows the science that trans women are women. So that would be putting women in women's spaces. Now, John, just because you don't understand trans identities does not mean anybody else doesn't. And you're not exactly making the case that you have ever gone. John, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, actually, even as common sense goes, we wouldn't find you as particularly fluent. But certainly advanced sense.
You're saying that I'm wrong. You're saying that I'm wrong. Jesus Christ!
You are wrong.
A man wears a dress, and you call him a
Jimmy,
woman, and you're saying
if
that
you don't
I'm
mind.
wrong.
John, let's just find out. John, let's just find out if you know the science on here, because I do. So let's just see.
You could tell
do
you
me
didn't
a favor.
Understand anything I said, though, right? Did you hear his response?
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. John,
I'm gonna go put chicken in a pot. I'll be back.
Go ahead, John. Can you define to me what a woman is?
I saw a documentary.
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you about a documentary. I say, can you give me a definition for what a woman is?
I'm not going to fall into the trap you did with your last caller.
What trap? Asking you to define a term that we're both using? Are you afraid of definitions now? Do they make you go, big scary? Because I'm asking you to define a term?
A female is someone who has.
I didn't ask you what a female is. Keep up. I didn't ask you what a female is. I didn't ask you what a female is. I didn't ask you what a female is, John.
I'm saying female. That is a female. I'm not.
I didn't ask you what a female is.
I'm telling the truth.
I didn't ask you what a female is.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm not playing a game. A female.
Didn't ask you what a female is, John. That's crazy. Didn't ask.
I'm answering your question.
No, you're not. My question was, what is a woman? My question was, what is a woman?
A woman is someone who's born female and grows up to become an adult.
Okay, a woman is someone who's born female.
And has XS chromosomes.
Okay, and has XX chromosomes.
And I'm not going to accept your stupid definition of social construct, if that's what you're going. That is stupid.
Great. So a woman has to have XX chromosomes. Are you saying, John, that this is a necessary condition to be a woman, that a woman must possess XX chromosomes?
She has to have XX chromosomes. She has to have a vagina.
Has to. I'm just confirming. She has to. She has to.
And she has to be born a female.
I just want to confirm here that this is something that is necessary for women to possess.
I'm not going to accept this idea that's in your head. I'll never, ever, ever, ever accept
John,
that.
nobody's talking about John, listen here. Impulse control is hard for you, and I assume that's just because the Bud Light has gotten to you over all these years. I need you to understand that this is a conversation, so a conversation doesn't work by you covering your ears and going la 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 female. Okay? So try to have an adult conversation for more than 10 minutes, okay? So I'm just trying to get to the understanding. I'm just trying to get to the understanding. Adults don't have to call themselves adults, John. I'm just trying to get to the understanding. They just have to act like it. I'm trying to get to the understanding, okay? Do you believe it is necessary for all females, in order to be women, they have to have XX chromosomes?
No, I don't believe it. I know it.
Okay.
It is science.
So there has never been a female who's had, for instance, XY chromosomes.
XYs are males. That is basic
Okay,
science.
so just confirming, there has never been an instance of for instance, somebody who's pregnant who has XY chromosomes, correct?
The person, whoever you're talking about, I guarantee you, it was a female. You just chose to call him a male.
I'm not calling anyone a male. I'm asking you, John, has there ever been an instance where somebody who's female has XY chromosomes?
It has never happened, and whatever you're referring to, I guarantee you it was a mislabel.
Oh, it's never happened.
Yes,
it was mislabeled.
Never happened.
So this medical case of a woman with pure 46 XY karyotyping who has a pure 46 XY chromosome distribution in their body, who was pregnant and gave birth, and we have the medical case study on it, that never happened?
Whatever you're talking about, I guarantee you it was a big mistake, and I do not believe...
Okay, prove it was a mistake. Prove it was a mistake. Prove it was a mistake.
I do not believe that...
Prove it was a mistake. Prove it was a mistake. Prove it was a mistake.
I have common sense. I have common sense.
Okay, so this is what we're learning. This is what we're learning. I just want everybody who's watching the stream to understand. John has been presented with conflicting information to what John knows. John has a belief. John has been presented with evidence to counteract his belief. And instead of going, oh shit, I should look into the evidence, John says, I don't have to look it up because I just have common sense. I don't need to look at evidence. So John, is it okay? Are you okay going through life being stupid? Is that just something you're cool with? I would be against doing that.
Smart.
Me personally, no, smart people don't ignore evidence, John. Smart people don't ignore evidence. What
your
smart
evidence
people
does not exist.
John, stop. John, stop. John, stop. We're not talking about whether men are men or women are women right now. We're talking about what type of chromosomes someone needs to be female or male. You said females have to have XX chromosomes, that there has never been an instance of a female without XX chromosomes. Yet, we have medical case studies of that very thing. And again, instead of updating your knowledge and going, oh shit, I was given new information. Thank you, Jovan, for giving me new information. And now that I have this, I can update my worldview. You put your fingers in your ear and went, la, 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 women XX. That's kind of embarrassing, don't you think? Don't you think that's a little embarrassing?
Are you seriously advocating that
don't you think that's embarrassing?
Change its definitions just to accommodate a few people who have weird chromosomes?
I'm not advocating, John, I'm not advocating anything. I'm pointing out the fact that you were presented with new contradictory information and you shut down like a child who got their favorite toy taken from them in the sandbox. That's all I'm pointing out here. Now, if it's the case, which it is, that someone doesn't need to possess XX chromosomes to be female, then it might look like the way you categorize female is anti-scientific. I can tell you the way we categorize female in biology if you'd like. I can tell you the way that actual biologists categorize what is a female. But I have a feeling, much like 9/11, that will cause you to implode.
Do not bring 9/11 into this. Females
9/11.
are XY.
What of it?
9/11.
Sorry, I guess that joke bombed, huh?
I'm from New
My
York.
bad.
I lost
Females are
people.
XX.
My family lost people in
Females
9/11.
are XX,
Tell me
males
more.
are XY. End of story.
Okay, great. John, thank you. So, pregnancy and delivery in a patient with pure 46XY karyotype. So, I'll just read you this case study. In scientific literature, there's two syndromes have been described in the presence of pure 46XY karyotype when an individual is phenotypically and psychosexually identified as a woman, androgen sensitivity syndrome, and pure gonadal dysgenesis XY Swire syndrome. Thanks to the presence of a uterus in the Swire syndrome, we can treat this type of sterility with donated oocytes. So, here is somebody with XY chromosomes that got pregnant and then gave birth. What do you have to say about that? So, is this person a man or is this person a woman?
In every case in life, there will always
Is
be an
this
exception.
person
You don't
a
change
man
the world
or
for
is
one
this person a
person.
woman? Is this person a man or a woman, John?
You do not change the world just for one person.
Is this
ever.
person a
There's always gonna be
man or a
exceptions.
woman, John?
I'm not answering that question. I'm just saying that.
I will not
Because
be
you're
answering the
scared.
question that ruins my. I will not be answering the question that ruins my point.
John, what's hilarious to me is like, I'm not a scaredy cat. So like, I'll answer a question when presented it. You are running with your tail between your legs faster
I'm
than a
not running.
gazelle
I'm
being
still
chased
here.
by a cheetah. You're running
I'm
because you won't
saying
answer the
to you, I'm
question,
right
John.
here.
John, so answer me the question. Is someone with XY chromosomes a male? Yes or no?
XY chromosomes. Someone with XY chromosomes is a male. Yes.
So did a male give birth?
I don't know
Can
who it
men,
is
so
you're
males
talking
can
about,
give
but
birth?
Males don't give birth. That's common knowledge.
Okay, so then women can have XY chromosomes.
Okay, if you're going to accept the fact that men can give birth, are you saying that men can give birth? Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking you, numbnuts. We're trying to get to your lot. Now, I believe men can give birth because I believe trans men are men. That's not what we're talking about here. You've told me men can't give birth, but you've also told me that XY chromosomes are male and you believe males to be men. So which is it? Is this person who had XY chromosomes and gave birth, are they a man or are they a woman?
So if we're going to say that men can give birth, then that means that you also have to say that men can have abortion.
Are they a man?
That means men
John,
have a
it's
say
so
in
embarrassing
whether or not-
to you that you're unable
muted,
to answer. It's just so embarrassing that I ask you a very straightforward question. This question is no trickery to it. It's super straightforward, and you can't answer it. That's just so embarrassing. Third graders can answer a question more direct than you can.
Yeah, John, we have more calls lining up, so make your last whiny point, and then we're moving on.
Someone said John is the person that you were talking to me about on Sunday, Jimmy.
Oh, John, wait, John, are you the guy who tried to say there is no black discrimination, that it doesn't exist, and your proof is that you're a black guy?
We had a conversation on Sunday.
Did you say that black discrimination does not exist?
Look, racism obviously exists. But
John, did you? No. You will only answer my questions. Did you say black discrimination does not exist on Sunday?
Yes, I did.
Are you a black man?
Yes, I am.
Did you invoke that the reason why you know there is no black discrimination is because you are a black man, and told me that my opinion is not as significant because you're black and I'm not?
I thought we were talking about trans people. You switched subjects, haven't you?
Great, John. So now if you want to remain on the phone, you and Jovan can talk about whether black discrimination exists. If he wants to, he does get a choice. Otherwise, I'm moving on.
Jimmy's giving me more of a choice than Texas gives to women. Oh, I don't care one way or another. John, are you telling me black people, there's no racism against black people in the world?
There's racism against everyone. What I'm saying is that we have to fight against racism. We can't continue.
That's not what he said on Sunday. On Sunday, he was explicitly asked to clarify even, and he definitively said black discrimination does not exist.
John, does black discrimination exist?
What exactly do you mean by that? Are you talking about black people discriminating against white people?
Here, let me ask it as straightforward as I possibly can. Do you believe that when it comes to black people in, let's say, North America, because I know you're from Canada, do you believe black people face systemic oppression on this continent?
No, I do not. You are living in the greatest nation on earth. You should be grateful.
America's not the greatest nation on earth, first and foremost.
You're living in the only nation where you can have Barack Obama, who was the president of the United States, the first black president. Tell me what other country can have that.
Whoopee. There are tons of black presidents in African countries. John, let me ask you a question.
Wait, did John just say that that the United States had the first black president like in the world?
Yeah.
The greatest nation on earth had elected a black president, and you're saying that black discrimination is a reality.
John, let me ask you a question. John, let me ask you a question. Let me walk you through something. So Stanford did a study. Stanford's a college. Yes. Colleges are places that people go after high school to get higher education. Just because I know you might not know what that building
higher
is.
Education, but continue. Okay,
I know you don't. I know you've never seen that building from the inside, so I just thought I'd tell you. So Stanford did an experiment where they looked at 16 million traffic stops in the United States. 16 million. Very large sample size, million. Right? 16 million. Yeah, giant sample size, million. Right?
Yeah.
Giant sample size. Yes. What they found is that when it, like, let's say it's 5 o'clock and the sun is shining and it's out and it's beautiful. What they found is that black people get pulled over at a rate 16 times higher than their white counterparts. Then what they found is, like, let's say it's 5 o'clock and now the sun is set and it's dark out. All of a sudden, those rates even out. Why might that be, John?
Okay, so you're saying that when the sun rises, black people are pulled over, and when the sun sets,
when the sun is out and the cops can see the skin color of the driver, black people are pulled over 16 times at a 16 times higher rate than white people. When the sun is not out and they can no longer see the skin color of the driver, the rates even out. Why might that be, John?
So are you suggesting that the police are deliberately pulling over black people just for the sake of it?
I'm asking you why that disparity might exist, John.
I cannot answer that question. I'm not a police officer.
So you can't make an inference or a guess?
So
it seems weird that you can. It seems weird that you can. It seems weird that you can make an inference on science around gender that you don't know, but you can't make an inference on why police might pull over black people more than white people.
Okay, Jovan, have you ever been discriminated against?
I don't know who Jovan is.
John, why aren't you answering the question?
I've never met a Jovan in my life.
John,
Jimmy, have you ever met someone named Jovan?
I've called a friend Jovan a few times.
Is that your name?
Never. I don't know who the fuck Jovan is.
What is?
I've even said my name. I've even said my name out loud on this call with you.
So what is
certainly not Jovan?
I know it's not Jimmy.
Guess you'll never know at this point. Asking again, why are black people pulled over at a rate 16 times higher than their white counterparts?
Well, because they're committing crimes.
Except crimes are accounted for in the study. And we're looking at pullovers where no tickets are issued because no crime has been committed. So now what's your reason?
Even to get that black people are committing crimes, traffic crimes, more often during the day than at night is already a very silly guess.
Okay, do you want me to tell you something? The reason
not really. Thanks for calling. Who's next?
If he's not going to answer, I did love I can't answer because I'm not a cop, but you can answer for trans people when you're not a psychologist, a biologist, or trans? All right, word.
Truthfully, that's who you talked to. That's who you sent me that message about last Sunday. Crazy.
Yeah, that was the guy. And a number of commenters questioned whether or not in the comments they believe he is black. I would never do such a thing. I think I might have said it to him. I'm kind of skeptical of things you've said about yourself on this call. Anyway, Joe in the United States didn't want to tell us
Jimmy, hold on.
Oh, we gotta wait. Sorry,
this is just so funny. Someone said, Jovan, I just checked. You literally got arrested in 2008 for vehicular manslaughter of a minor. Do you know how old I was in 2008?
I would say 16.
I was
15?
it 16?
How old are you now?
32.
So you'd be 15.
Yeah. I didn't end up getting a driver's license until I was 19. I didn't start driving until 19. So I'd love to know where I got it of fucking vehicular manslaughter charge.
So what year
Fucking
did you get a
idiots.
vehicular manslaughter charge?
Oh, 2024. Actually, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
Yep.
So fucking stupid. Anyway, you can bring up the next person. That's so funny.
Joe, from the United States, just broadly.
Yes.
No pronouns in here. Joe, would you take your shoes off in my house, please? Joe from the U.S., you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan.
How's it going? What's going on, guys?
Joe, what would you like the audience when they're talking about you? Would you rather when they're like, oh, this caller, he is making some good points or she is making some good points?
Well, I would say he, obviously.
Word, that's what pronouns are. We're on the phone. They can't see your face. They can't see how you're presenting, excellent. So they can't even make an educated guess. Joe is a unisex name also, so even less of a chance. And I've had too many fake grandmas who smoke their whole life to say you can just tell by the voice.
How come nobody asked about pronouns before 2016?
They were more content to keep making the mistakes, but society evolves, and we're more evolved society right now.
It's only like 9 years of this pronoun thing.
Joe, so you had 9 years to get with the program and you still can't do it? Okay, we'll just call you whatever we want.
Well,
so everybody, this is Joe.
I had the
this
entire
is it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. This is Joe.
No, hang on.
This is Joe. She is here to debate with me and Jimmy.
I'd like to point something out though. Joe, did the call screener ask if you were MAGA or not?
Yes.
How come before 2016 no one ever asked someone if they were MAGA?
Because that, I guess, movement wasn't created.
Right, because society evolved, language changed, and so we have updated our language to be more modern and to have an understanding of people as they exist.
But the ideas of MAGA have been long-standing, well before MAGA. It's just
trans people understood their existence also as a minority group of people. At one point, the people who were this outwardly fascist and terrible in America, they were much more of a minority group. And so as we have had, language has evolved. It is modernized.
Okay.
Get with the program. Okay. Anyway, you've requested you be referred to as he. I assume it would hurt your feelings if everybody started calling you she. So we'll go with your preferred pronouns.
I wouldn't really care.
I bet you would.
I'm going with she for the rest of the call.
I bet you would, baby girl.
Okay. I have total confidence in myself. I wouldn't really care what you call me.
I have confidence in it. You wouldn't even tell us what state you lived in. You were worried. You were worried that was too much to track you down.
Well, it's a little different.
Yeah. Well, you think that if we know that you're the Joe from,
I want a cordial discussion.
Joe from Minnesota. Oh my God, they have too much information.
Yeah, slightly. United States. We'll do it that way.
I know. At least I know where your phone number is from. Like if I wanted to track you down, I'd be able to go, all right, I just got to go find a Joe in that place. I'm not going to say it because you haven't publicly done it. I'm not a doxing asshole. It's not like I'm a conservative, but it is very, very dumb.
I have conservative that you and I both have been doxed by Democrats.
That you would, well, sir, you've called it. I see your full phone number. I could literally easily dox you. I'm looking at it right now. I can see all 10 digits in my earballs. Like it wouldn't be difficult to do, but you're trusting me that I will. Anyway, it is funny. And if Jovan, I know you can see it too.
Trouble.
That no, you are mistaken, Joe. It is actually not illegal thanks to conservatives to dox people. Conservatives and freedom of speech bullshit that they have pulled are why there is no. As a man who has been doxxed many times and sought legal recourse, the shitty thing about it is there are no significant doxing laws.
Okay, well, I think we can agree that should change, correct?
Are you
that doxing laws to some degree? Yeah, I think there should be better protections for doxing. I don't know what the exact answer would be because
I agree.
If conservatives are deciding it, everything would be doxing, just the same way that like you guys pretend you love freedom of speech. Meanwhile, Elon has called for incarcerating people for calling people Nazis as that's an incitement to violence. So you should
wait. Was it a freedom of speech violation?
Multiple people get shot, but I don't think
was it a freedom of speech violation when Elon bans people on Twitter for calling other people cisgender? Is that a freedom of speech violation?
I guess not, because Twitter is its own platform, just like how they ban people with conservative views. But if you were to say it in a public space, I would say that would be against my beliefs to do that.
To call people cisgender is against your beliefs?
As long as you're saying that you don't think it was against...
To make people be banned for saying that in a public space, that is against my beliefs.
But you are saying that when Twitter was liberal controlled and they were just deleting conservative accounts, that wasn't a violation of free speech either then?
No, because it's a privately owned entity. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah, as long as you're not going to be hypocritical, like literally your entire party that I'm pretty sure that when you're not talking to people that would point out the hypocrisy, you probably do share that with, but whatever, here in the moment, I'll take your word for it. Anyway,
yeah,
what
I think a
bullshit
lot of
you
people
calling
are
about?
sophisticated on either side, but that's just how life is.
What are the sides? You said either side. What? Okay, so one side is what? What's side one?
Well, you could say, well, honestly, there's multiple sects on either side. Not sexes, sects.
So what are the sides?
You know, there's conservatives, and there's neocons, and there's
what are the
Democrats,
sides?
there's liberals,
all
there's
of those people that you just
socialists.
said. All of those people, the conservatives and the neocons, you were saying are on one side, right? What side would you call that?
One ideology that convenes, but then there's liberals. What side I would call it the conservative side.
Okay, so you're saying there's a conservative side and a liberal side, correct?
Hello?
You said there's a conservative side and a liberal side, correct?
Well, if you want to put it in the political parties, Republican, Democrat, and then there's different kind of ideologies in each group.
It's fucking amazing that you can just ask people to clarify what they just said, and then they're like, well, before I fall into a trap, when it's just clarifying questions. Like, before I fall into a trap, now I'm going to
Democrats,
be... Okay, great. Those are the sides. Jovan and I are not on either of those sides. And arguably, if we decided to categorize things into two sides, we would put Republicans and Democrats on the same side, on the side opposite of us. So now what do we do?
That doesn't make any sense, because there's political leaders in the Democrat Party who agree with everything you guys agree with. So I don't understand what's
incorrect. Incorrect. Could you name a person who is a Democrat, a liberal Democrat, who agrees that we should, for example, demolish capitalism?
Yeah, Zoran Mamdani.
Zoran Mamdani is a democratic socialist.
Okay, that's what I'm saying with the different
He's not a Democrat.
Like there's different groups.
No, he's not a Democrat.
Okay.
You can only run as two people, but he's not a Democrat.
Okay, I can accept that. Then there's multiple.
By the way, Zoran Mamdani has unfortunately made a shift toward capitalism.
Yeah, well, he's kind of forced to, but I don't agree with two-party system either way. I wish there was more parties.
Can I just get a confirmation of what you called in about what liberal ideology specifically is destructive to society? Like, can you give like an example?
Well, I mean, abolishing the police is one of them, and I do think that
know what a liberal is.
Trans LGBTQ
liberals don't want to abolish liberals don't want to abolish police.
So are you saying the Democratic Socialists then? So are you guys Democratic Socialists?
There's not a single politician in the United States.
In the Democratic
there's not a single.
It's in the Democratic
There's not a single politician.
It's in the referendum. Go look up the Democratic Socialist referendum right now.
There is not a single politician in the United States right now who has proposed the abolition of police.
That's false. There's plenty of them. It's in maybe not. If you're a Democratic Socialist, well, I would say any Democratic Socialist. It's in their Zoran Mamdani.
Zoran Mamdani has not proposed abolishing police.
Quite the
Mamdani is
opposite.
not
But
proposed
he proclaims to be democratic socialist, and that is in their referendum on their
I
page.
proclaim to be skinny. Doesn't make me skinny.
So then, do you agree with abolishing the police?
I do, but I'm not a liberal. You said liberal ideology is
Okay, then
destructive to
let's forget
society.
about liberals. Then I'll change it then to democratic socialist. I didn't know you guys were separating.
I'm not a democratic socialist.
Didn't you just say you were? Who said they were? The other one?
Nope.
No,
Neither of us
did.
has said we're democratic socialists.
You just said. I said. Where do you stand? You said democratic socialist.
Nope. That's not a thing that happened.
Okay.
You are bad at following very
you,
basic concept, Joe. I'm a libertarian socialist, and Jovan is a communist.
Socialist. Okay. Okay, then I'll say communism is a very destructive ideology.
Oh, you had to move away from liberalism, huh?
Well, if
What
I'm
is
not
liberalism?
why would I continue that?
What is communism?
Communism is total control over your people, what they speak, what they see, and what they're allowed to do, what they're allowed to eat. Yes, it is.
You could change one word of that definition, and it would get kind of close, but it would be the antithesis of what he's trying to say.
Can you give an actual definition for what? Can you give an actual definition for it? I'm just wondering. It's always interesting to me when people are like, communism's bad, but they can't even define it.
It's total government control over the money and where the money goes and how the money is spent.
The money in communism. You know, the money.
You know two things. Do you know two things that don't exist? Do you know two things that wouldn't exist in a communist system? Money and a centralized government. Those are two things that can't exist in communism.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. What is China? Hello?
He's grabbing a book for you. I actually believe you don't know what China is, and you're just asking like a basic question, like, what's a square? What are clouds made of?
Why is it called the Communist Party of China?
Why were the Nazis called the National Socialists? Why is Korea called the Democratic Republic of Korea?
Oh, you're right. Korea's a democracy, right, Joe? You would agree with us? Korea's a democracy?
Korea?
Yeah.
I would assume it's some
North
sort of
Korea.
semblance. Maybe not North Korea.
North Korea? You believe North Korea?
No, North Korea is a communist.
But why do they call themselves? Why do they call themselves the people? But why do they call themselves the Democratic Republic of Korea? Why are they the DPRK?
I have no idea. I don't know much about North Korea.
Oh, so somebody can call themselves. So someone can call themselves something.
Hundreds of years of communists and change the definition to what you want it to be. It's been
defined.
Who
created communism?
Oh my God!
Hold on.
That's his best point so far.
Who created communism? Who created communism? Like the system? Who created it?
Karl Marx. Whatever. Karl Marx.
How does Karl Marx define communism?
I don't know too much about
crickets because you don't know.
You
never read it. It's super easy. Marx and Engels, who wrote the literal books on communism, define it in one way, and it's the complete abolition of bourgeois private property. It has nothing to do with governments owning things.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with any of that. You just don't read, so you're mad about something you've never actually looked into.
This is my point. Every communist country has become total control by the government.
Name a communist country.
It's not good.
Name a communist country.
China, Russia.
China's not communist. Russia's not communist. Try again. Name a country that's actually
Chinese
communist.
Communist Party. The Chinese
doesn't matter that they're a communist party.
It.
A communist party does not mean that the economic system has become communist. It just means that a party that calls themselves communist. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Are you stupid?
Well, why not?
He's still going with the total control.
Wait, answer me this question. Let's say our next president of the United States. Let's say the next president of the United States who is elected is a communist. Let's say he's elected but doesn't change anything. Are we a communist country?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So China's not communist. Russia is not communist. Any other big bright ideas you have from the beautiful brain of Joe? Did you hear what he said though?
Did you hear him say that we have a capitalist president, therefore we're capitalist?
So stupid. The Soviet Union. What did USSR stand for? What did USSR stand for, Joe?
I can't read the Soviet Republic. Is that what it stands for?
The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Socialist Republic. Yeah. Okay.
So they weren't. So they were a union of socialist states, not of a communist one.
Okay. So then, where has there ever been communism then?
Fun fact: there hasn't been.
So what do you stand for?
The principles of communism. What communism prescribes to be, not what has yet.
What are the principles?
Become.
No bourgeoisies. What's a bourgeoisie? I know what it is, but I want your definition.
It's the owner class. It would be the group of people in charge of land, labor, capital, and technology. People who oversee the means of production.
Something? Would you ever want to be a business owner? I bet you probably own some sort of business right now with this YouTube channel.
So I have to, because that's the state we live in. We live in a state that forces me.
Do you think if you lived in a communist society that you would be allowed to?
No shit, I wouldn't be allowed to. I'll gladly give it up in a heartbeat if it means we can move to communism. Is this some sort of gotcha? Is this where you're like, watch me get them? Watch me get them.
Understand.
I don't need to benefit.
What would you benefit from that?
I would benefit in the fact that everybody else would have their needs met. That's where I would benefit.
I would
benefit from the flourishment. I would benefit from the flourishment.
At the whim of the government.
There is no government, you dumbass. You absolute ignoramus. There's no government.
You don't want government. You're an anarchist.
I am most likely. You don't know what anarchism even is, Joe.
It's just freedom. No rules, nothing. That's what it is.
No, anarchism is not no rules, dummy.
So what is anarchism?
I need you to have a stronger than like a 9th grade understanding of these things to have this conversation.
I think my understanding is better than yours because you're telling me something that
it's not. You weren't able to define. You weren't able to define communism. I bet you can't even define socialism. I don't think you're going to be able to define what like
it in the way that is been the way it's been defined throughout history.
Remix.
And it's actually never existed.
Joe, do me a favor. Joe, do me a favor. Joe, do me a favor.
Say whatever it is you want to say about it.
Joe, do me a favor. I'm gonna watch. Ask me to define what water is.
What's water?
It's liquid, hot, molten rock that forms out of the ground. Am I right?
I don't think so. I think it came from comets.
Oh, okay. Okay, crazy. So that's what you just did when I asked you to define communism. That's what you did. You defined something that is not even close to what communism is, and then you
define self-proclaimed communist as what they proclaim it to be. Not you're saying something that has actually never existed.
No communist on the planet.
You even define communism?
There's no communism. Joe. Something having not existed in practice doesn't mean we can't have a functional definition for what that thing is. Stupid.
Well, I don't know if that's true because
you don't know if that's true.
Do you believe in things being malleable?
You don't think that's true. Wait, hold on. So wait, just really quickly. You think if something doesn't exist, we can't define what that thing is?
Yeah, I do. Because there's no.
So we don't have the spaceships come from.
Yeah, how do we define? So we can't define what a dragon is. I couldn't give you a definition for dragon.
You can define what people's conception of a dragon is. Sure.
You're up, Jimmy.
No. Let it sit.
What?
There's no fucking way, dude.
No, sir. In the last sentence, you weren't wrong. It was the first time you were right. Somehow those words came out of you, and you don't see how it conflicts with everything you said before.
Well, I can have historical basis on what communism is, not on what a dragon is.
The historical basis of communism would be theoretical communism. Not any communism that's ever actually existed. It's why people call it theory. Here's how it would work in theory.
Okay, sure. Fine.
Great.
What else? It's your guys' show. You got a lot of silence going on.
All right, you're right.
I'm just sitting in the dumbassedness.
Thanks since Joe, you've acknowledged you don't have anything more, we will let you go. Thanks for the call, Joe. I would say it was fun, but it wasn't. All right. Nathan in Georgia. Nathan in Georgia, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. How are you?
Doing excellent. How are you guys?
Just fine. What are you calling in about?
So, I do agree that Trump is ruining the country, but I still think that you would consider me your political adversary because I am a theist. I'm not big on a lot of the stuff going on with the trans movement. I'm pro-life. I am a Christian, and I was here earlier when you mentioned one guy hung up, and you mentioned you were making fun of microevolution as a concept, and I was actually
because it's not
really
a real concept.
Microevolution
is a made-up concept by creationists. It's not a scientific term. Microevolution is sort of the idea of in a short period of time we can see a little bit of evolution. And so now if you just extrapolate that to, okay, then what happens in a long period of time? It goes from a little bit to a lot of bit. Microevolution doesn't exist. There's just evolution.
Gotcha. Is it cool if I do a quick sales pitch on my side of that argument and then turn it over to you and we just do that publicly?
I mean, you can. I don't know what information you could possibly present when I have a pretty comprehensive knowledge and understanding of what the scientific understanding of evolution is. And so I don't know, how do you seek to counter it with word riddles? Or do you have actual scientific evidence to present in contrast?
Yeah, I have some studies, some sources and everything. And I would think it's important to define our terms because I think in America, we actually have we have this issue where we equate speciation with evolution because Darwin's finches, the concept that new mutations occur in every generation where because of the genetic material combining between both parents, it creates a new, species that can have different advantages in the environment. All of that stuff is real, and it's called speciation, and it can be observed generation by generation. That's why we have the moths that adapt to the coloration of the horrible human pollution and everything. But the evolution, the theory of it is that speciation can continue indefinitely when presented with the correct environmental circumstances. And we actually do have more scientific evidence that would argue against that than would argue in favor of that.
No, we don't.
Can I explain something?
The theory of evolution, you can explain, but you've just made an assertion that is definitively untrue. The theory of evolution as it stands now is the most supported. It is far more supported than the theory of gravity, than germ theory. It is the single most supported scientific theory we have. So to make the claim there is more evidence that speciation, essentially what you're just trying to describe is that there is a limitation to speciation, that it can't happen. Let's start here. Do you believe that humans are great apes?
No.
Right. So you don't believe when we have definitive evidence that our lineage is that going through Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Australopithecus africanus. Like we have definitive evidence of these things, and we don't even need the fossil record. The fossil record is awesome in that we've been able to use the predictive nature of it to be able to go, hey, we can actually probably figure out where we would find a transitionary fossil between and go look, and we end up finding it. So it is nice to have, but we also know because of DNA and many other things. So what would you say is the bedrock of evidence that we, for example, do not have, if we go far back enough, grandparents that are Homo erectus?
I would say I would start with an emotional appeal, but then the bedrock of evidence. The emotional appeal is, I don't think you believe that the United States government always gives us the official narrative on 9/11 or why we're involved in the Middle East.
Yes, I don't care about any of that. None of what you just described. I went to college. I've both participated in the actual, I've had the education and participated in the labs and the experimentation and can see that their models are consistent, as well as why it is pivotal to the development of medicines and the like that it actually is core to a lot of things we do today. So once again, you going up with this like genetic fallacy that you think the US government or whoever it was, that the origin of the theory of evolution is not trustworthy because some conspiracies exist. Fallacies don't appeal to me. So once again, what is the evidence you have that Homo sapiens did not descend from Homo erectus?
In a sentence, mutations are to the human genome as entropy is to a vacuum. The issue that we're finding, unfortunately, very consistently, is that the same way chemical reactions.
Excuse me, who is we? If you're going to use the term we, because I know you're trying to imply authority, that you are participating in some sort of scientific discovery. So either define we to something that we would accept, or rephrase the way you're saying it. People are finding, people you agree with are finding, whatever but let's not pretend that scientists, the we as a whole, are finding that there is this hole in scientific understanding.
I would say cancer.gov. There's this really common issue that we know that faces Americans. It's that cancer, you're more likely to get it the older you are. And the reason that that's the case is because as you grow, more of your genetic material is compromised. And so as humans continue to reproduce, we have copies of copies that continue to go through the line. There's more and more de novo mutations now than there were 5,000 years ago, because we're creating new versions of humans. But the thing is that as we're all exchanging genetic material and mutations continue to occur, we're actually becoming less genetically diverse over time. And I know that sounds crazy, but essentially, if you track the record.
When you're using the phrase less, you're using it relatively in a way that isn't actually coherent.
Well, I would say it's unfortunately scientific, because it's.
No, you don't understand what scientific is. I'm sorry. What is your degree? And by the way, you are a biologist, or I'm meant to just go like your layperson understanding is better than a tremendous consensus with myriad.
My degree is in logistics and supply chain management, but I'm a hobbyist in the area. But I understand that's no credibility.
No, it definitely
I don't claim to be perfect, but I really do.
Hobbyist sounds right. Hey, what are you doing this Monday? What time zone are you in? Central or Eastern?
Eastern. I'm in Georgia.
Great. So it's from 7 p.m. until, let's say, 1 a.m. is what I would guess. What are you doing next Monday? You got a 20 to 30 minute window?
Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes.
Great. You're going to be able to call. Do you have a pen?
I've got a keyboard. Let me type it in.
720-619-2288. And at that number will be a show like this show called Skep Talk. And it is literally going to be hosted by two evolutionary biologists, Erica of Gutsick Gibbon and Forrest Valkai. Between now and Monday, what you're going to do is compile a list of the best evidence you have against what we'll call molecules to man, as the creationists like to say. The absolute best sourced scientific evidence against. You can go broadly, molecules to man, or because Erica is actually specifically is she a paleontologist? Specifically, her evolutionary biology expertise is literally in the development of Homo species. So literally what we just talked about, Homo habilis. She goes back even beyond that. She can tell you all about Lucy. She can tell you all about everything. You're going to call in this coming Monday. You've already said you're available, and you're going to give to them your best sourced. You're going to do a little bit of work. So it's not please trust me, bro stuff. Your best sourced evidence to two evolutionary biologists for at least 20 to 30 minutes. I suspect if you bring enough, they'll let you take an hour or two. It is Forrest, after all. How's that sound, Nathan?
That sounds amazing. Can I get the number one more time?
720-619-2288. Erica is a primatologist.
And I called this number on Monday night between 7 and 1 a.m., but hopefully like around like the
I would
7
call as
time
close
frame.
to 7 as possible. If you call even a little bit, like 10 minutes before, you'll probably be the first caller on because that'll be at the beginning of the show. Do you know where the channel is, the line?
Is it always on Jovan's channel?
No, it's never on Jovan's channel. In fact, it's youtube.com/@Q&A line. Or if you just type the line into YouTube, I can't imagine anybody has. I know there's some project in Saudi Arabia that's called the line, but other than that, we are the #1 channel. I mean, they're not the number. They're not the channel at all.
Gotcha. But if I call that number that you gave me from my phone, I'll be able to call in?
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
And talk to
Jimmy.
literal experts in the field and bring your contention that the largest foundation of evidence is actually anti the evolution of Homo sapiens from Homo erectus and those that came before it.
Gotcha.
I will call Forrest tonight and let him know you are calling to look forward to it. He's going to be asking, and I will say, hey, look out in the queue when you see Nathan pop up. He's claiming he's got the evidence, so do prioritize his call as best you can. That's how much I'm going to go out on a limb for you.
I appreciate it. Pressure's on. All right, geez.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, Nathan. I'll be listening Monday night.
All right. You guys have a great one. Enjoy the rest of the night.
You too. You gonna watch?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've watched an episode of Skip Talk.
I want to be notified though, specifically when he calls in.
Yeah. We'll have, let's see, who in the live chat will definitely be at Skep Talk and has the capacity to text me. I think somebody here must. But I'll be there. And I am going to call Forrest and let him know. That's going to be a good show. That is going to be a good show. Guys, stop in the chat. What if you read the live chat and finds out what alliance den he's walking into? Yeah, I agree. Someone said his call will last 2 hours. Forrest has no self-control when it comes to things like that. Like none. Well, we've got 2.5 minutes left. Jovan, what do you want to, I feel like multiple people mispronounced your name today, and I feel like I keep worrying now I'm going to. Because you had
if you did at Jovan. This point, that'd be heartbreaking.
What did the one guy say? It was close. It wasn't as bad as Jovan, but it was like Jovan. I think it was Jovan is what somebody called you Jovan, like a little bit more, hit the vowels a little harder earlier in the show.
I was going to say, because that's just correct.
Why call you Jovan?
That's technically not correct.
Wait, I'm supposed to be hitting my Joe. Oh, you're gaslighting me.
No, if you were to say, what is my name? My name is Jovan.
Then what happened to the literary device Jovanathan?
I don't know what that is.
Wait, but say it again. Say it again real quick.
Jovan.
Okay. He was definitely hitting it harder. He hit
more on the Joe.
You hit the Joe more than I hit, but he hit the Von really hard too. It was Jovan. Almost like two so clearly distinct. It would almost be like your name was J-O-E.
Say how you say it again.
Jovan.
I would probably go more towards the way he says it than the way you say it.
Well, that's devastating. 500 times later. I feel like that way makes me think it's spelled like Vince Vaughn, Joe, J-O-E Vaughn. No, I'm not Vince Vaughn. I'm Joe Vaughn.
Famed Italian actor Vince Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Listen, I just don't correct people anymore typically, but it was just funny in that moment to correct him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Usually I don't give a shit.
That one was really good. He did say it was like his 4th or 5th time saying it, so I kind of understood where it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, especially because I had said it. I literally said it.
Someone in chat says Jimmy says it as Jovan with a hard R. I don't even know where would I put it? Where would I put it?
Jesus, Jovan with the R. I still cannot believe there was somebody who was full on in my chat going, Jovan committed a vehicular manslaughter when he was 15.
Oh, dude.
That's so funny.
It gets so much. I mean, you've had some pretty bad stuff, so you already know, but the number of people who have pretended to know who I am and assert that weird shit happened is, and it's always happened at the funniest times in my life when I'm like the most shut in. Someone will be like, last weekend I went on a date with Jimmy Snow, and this actually happened, and I had been reading it with my girlfriend of the time. And it was this crazy story about what happened on our date. And it was literally like, so you haven't actually left our apartment in like 10 days, though, is the weird thing. Yeah. There's good stuff.
Well, there. Are we sending people over to Matt?
Go watch Matt Dillahunty, and I think it's Brady Goodwin on with him tonight.
What's today, the 10th? Yeah, Brady's on with him.
Yeah. Go and watch. He used to go by Be Good. Go watch Be Good. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for joining me, Jovan Bradley. I've been TJ Kirk. We'll see y'all later. That was the show. Bow, 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 bow.